Hello, it's Jimmy here at O'Reilly's. Get that camera clear. So we've got here Citroën Relay Peugeot, also known as a Peugeot Boxer. It's had a DPF clean a couple of days ago. Lights back on. It's been back to the garage. I don't know why the lights back on. So he's here. We're here. Reason but for this one needing this clean is the DVSA pulled him over. It's a recovery truck. DVSA pulled him over, pulled him into a garage, put it on a pit, had a check over the vehicle and said he's got 7 days to sort out the DPF on it. So we're here doing that right now. He's taken, like I said, to his other garage. They tried cleaning the DPF, the lights back on, and they've told him the DPF is clean, but so they don't know why the lights are coming on. Let's get inside and I'll show you what I found. So it's a 2018 Citroën Relay. Okay, so inside the van, engine lights on. It's done 183,000 miles, which is going to be a hint of what's going on in the mileage there. It's done a lot of mileage, so the DPF is obviously spent a long time in the van. It's done a lot of mileage, so it's pointing at the mileage that it would be a worn out DPF. Okay, so we've got here these fault codes: P242F, which means the DPF is beyond its limit; P15 additive add-in, which is the additive tank. This is what we're looking at for now. And then we've got particle filter. We've got an inlet air circuit as well. We're going to do a smoke test for that. So all of the rest of it is basically block DPF, worn out DPF code, additive tank. The additive tank one has been ignored. They said they filled up the AdBlue, but it's not the AdBlue. This additive tank is not the AdBlue. I keep mentioning this on the videos, but there's a lot of mechanics that get confused thinking that it needs a new AdBlue tank. It doesn't. So these vehicles have two different types of tanks. One is an AdBlue tank. The other one, the additive adding tank is what they call, is a Pat fluid tank or Eli's tank. That is a diesel additive tank, goes into the diesel fuel tank. So it's not like your AdBlue. Your AdBlue just sprays into the catalyst to lower the exhaust gas emissions. It's a completely different type of fluid and a completely different tank. Now, if we come back to the diagnostic machine here, I'm using the X431 Euro from Launch. I'll put the link in the video where you can buy this scan tool from. Sorry, we need to go back here. We're going to go look at the live data or data stream. Exhaust information number 2. We'll select all of that, press OK, and straight away all of this information here tells me what I need to know. So it's averaging a regen at 159 kilometers. So it's trying to regen way too often. That would suggest that the DPF is worn out. It's full of ash. Now, distance travelled since the DPF was last changed, so they've obviously been trying to do resets on the DPF and stuff. What else have we got? DPF pressure 27 millibars, really high. That should only be sort of between 2 to 6. Now, if we go back from here, so what I've shown you there now, that is pointing out to me that the DPF is worn out. Let's see what else we have. Amount of additive in the tank. Let's see what we've got in here. Total weight of additive deposited into the DPF is 89 grams. So this is where the issue is. There's too much grams of additive deposited in there. That additive leaves behind an ash that can't be cleaned out. The only way to do it is back flush it. Let's have a look at the exhaust line information 3. What have we got here? Right, not much there, but I hope you get what I'm explaining. Now, this diesel additive that goes in the tank is there to help the DPF regenerate because it's far away from the engine. It helps to regenerate the DPF at a lower temperature, and basically if you're driving around town you're not reaching 600 degrees on the DPF. The additive fluid helps clean that out. But the problem is with the additive fluid is diesel fuel as you're driving and soot, when it regens it leaves behind ash. But when you've got an additive tank you get also ash from the additive, so you fill up your DPF very quickly, not filled with soot but filled with ash. Ash can't be cleaned out, ash can't be regenerated, it can't be burned off, it can't be cleaned out on the car. Only way to get rid of it is back flush. So that's what we're going to have to do with this. So these are not the easiest car to get access to the inlet pipes because it's all buried down there. We're going to try going through this section. Hopefully we can get a pressurized fitment straight down to the turbo there. That's where we want to go. Well, again, we're using another machine here from Launch. This is Launch UK in this instance. Smoke 2 leak detector. Okay, so we turned that on. and then we just watch, see if we can see any leaks. If we've got leaks somewhere, we'll see smoke coming. I've seen some of them leak from here. I'm not sure how much of a problem that is. This is like a breather valve, but I know most of them don't leak from here, but I have seen a couple leak from there. Then you can obviously have leaks from the boost hoses, you can have leaks from gaskets, etc. So just want to see if we've seen any smoke leaking. What that machine is doing is pumping smoke into the system, pressurized. Okay, so we did have like a vent at the bottom of the airbox here, so we have to bypass that, come in from here. So we don't have any leaks so far. It's been running for a while. The next thing is that the inlet air pressure could be affected, I suppose, by the high back pressure on the DPF, but I think what we'll do is we'll get the DPF work done, and then if this inlet air issue's an issue in the future again, I have seen this fault many times, but a lot of the time you clear it off. Once the DPF's clean, we don't see it anymore, but that fault can be caused by stuck open EGR valve, stuck open air intake valve or exhaust valve. It can be caused by vacuum leaks, a bad turbo. It can be, there's so many things that can cause that fault. Too much back pressure in the DPF, so much stuff. Right, so my lovely assistant Brian here is going to get this DPF off the van. That's just a case of disconnecting connectors on the AdBlue injector. Then over this side we have a clamp. Just up there is the clamp that holds it to the turbo. And then if we come back along here, we've got a clamp that holds it to the rear silencer just there. And just there, and then you got knock sensors there. A few little plugs and stuff that needs to come off. Okay, so while he's removing that, I'm just taking off this tank here. This is the tank we spoke about, Eli's pat fluid tank. You got a little fuel line that goes in and an electrical connector there. You just disconnect those, and then we've got a couple of bolts here. These out. And there we go. That is a completely empty tank. So just get rid of all of the dry dust that is around it. Okay, so that's the whole DPF dropped off. We did opt to just take off the silencer with it because this clamp is a little bit rusted and tight. So as you can see there, it's just this bolt is a bit, doesn't look the best, so we're gonna have to try and clean that up. It's coming. Okay, so we've got that separated. Now that's going to go into the carbon cleaner, DPF cleaner machine there. So yeah, we've got a couple of litres of this Eli's fluid that connects to the tank and it goes in. Alright, now this is the Carbon Clean DCX16 DPF cleaner machine, off-car DPF cleaner machine. We've left the AdBlue injector in there. We've left the knock sensors connected just so we don't have any holes, and then we've got two pressure sensor pipes right here. We're just going to bridge those over with some tube, just like that. Okay, now we connect this up, fill it up with water. This is a pressurized water tank, it goes in here. Once the DPF's full with water, we can give it a blast on here. Okay, once we're starting to get some water dribble out in there, we can hit this and give it a blast out. So that's going to push water and air pressure through the DPF and clean it out. Just like that. You can see red ash coming out. Now we're just going to increase the pressure up from 2 bar to 4. Look at all that red ash. You got oil there as well. So we'll obviously we're going to check that that there's no oil coming out of the turbo. Okay, then we'll do it again. Oh, look at the red ash from there. Definitely more red ash in this one than normal. little bit of splashing coming from it. Look how much red ash has come from that. Okay, we're at 4 bar again. Ready to give it a second blast. Well, third one actually. Still red. A bit of a leak coming from that. Another one. See, when you do an on-car clean, you don't get this red ash. This doesn't come out of the exhaust. So a little bit unrelated, which I've noticed is Euro 5 cars could normally always go to say 250,000 miles, and you could clean them on the car and it will come up clean. Unless you had maybe over 250 to 300,000 miles, then you had an ash problem. Most of these Citroën, Peugeot, Ford vans we're seeing at the moment, 80,000 miles above, there's usually too much ash in there. So Euro 5 cars used to tend to hold less ash. And another one. And again. See, it's starting to come out cleaner there. A little bit clearer. Okay, that bucket is now full. We're going to have to empty it into our waste cans, and then we'll do a second bucket. And again. Yeah, we're getting much clearer now. Still a little bit pink. And again. That's come out of the AdBlue injector port. Look at that. You don't see that very often. That's crystallised AdBlue. Found some hidden treasure. Straight up Colombian death powder. Nearly there. Yeah, look at all that red water. Right, let's do this again. It's got to be a dozen times so far. Worst one I've ever seen. Definitely the worst. This is definitely the worst one I've ever seen. Never see so much ash come out of one DPF. Next one. So we're gonna do an auto one here. Get it from a different angle. Red water. Right, we've got it set now on automatic. It's on a timer. We'll set it to 1 minute intervals, so it should blast out another one any second now. Quite a long DPF, these ones. Wait for it to come. How can it still be red? This is like the 20th flush. Almost there. That's probably as good as we're going to get it there. Almost clear. Right, I'm going to let Brian get all of this fitted back to the vehicle there. Okay, now all of the mechanical side of the work is done. We've fitted everything back together. We'll get onto the diagnostic machine here, show you what we need to do from here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is press clear the DTCs. Try and move it so the screen's a bit clearer. Right, what fault code have we got there? Particle filter. This is the worn out particle filter message. So what we need to do is go in here, go to special function, spare part. Right, it's missing for some reason. Let me see. Okay, so what we're going to need to do, if that's missing from here, it's on a Citroën system at the minute, so there's obviously an issue with that. We'll go back and we're just going to do it as a Peugeot badged, which is the same vehicle. So we're going to search here for Peugeot, whichever way you like to say it. Okay, now let's try that again. We're on the Peugeot system there, so go in here. It's really hard to get the screen without glare on it. Right, so special function, there's two things we need to do here, which is spare part, emissions, particle filter. That's going to reprogram the particle filter to say it's had a new one. It has been cleaned, but it's the same sort of procedure. So we have to let the vehicle run for a minute. Next procedure is switch off the ignition and wait for 30 seconds. Okay, now that's done. In the spare part section, we're going to go to service function, emissions again. No, it's not emissions. Let me see where we have draining, filling, bleeding, draining and filling of the urea reservoir. See, these are kind of confusing because they call the AdBlue urea and they call the Pat fluid tank urea, so hopefully that's the right one. I've lost my memory at the minute. Done. So we're going to do this one as well. I'm pretty sure the top one is the Eli's additive and the middle one is the AdBlue tank. Okay, so that's successful. Now we're going to go back to the live data and just confirm that the tank seems to be filled. I don't remember which one it was on. First additive. Not that one. There's always two on these and they contradict each other. Yeah, so 2.6, 2600. What was in number 3? Just to make sure. Okay, now if we go back we should be able to clear these fault codes. We have the particle filter and the additive tank fault. So okay, now we clear these. Now we start the engine up. Just confirm that fault codes have cleared and they're not still permanently stuck in there. Go back to the data stream again. Got one exhaust number 2. And we need to check the pressure of the DPF. Okay, so we're still on 20 millibars. Let's hold the revs up. Hopefully this is going to be a successful clean. So we're just going to hold the revs up now for a few minutes. Now the DPF on this, the DPF could be finished, but we don't know until we try and clean it. So we're just holding the revs at 3000 RPM. Idle again now, see where we're at. 9, so still 8. Ideally we want it down to sort of 6 or below if we can. We are down to 55. Let's idle again, see where we are now. Sorry, 6, just getting there. See, the reason it takes a few minutes is obviously the DPF is wet, so it takes some time for it to dry out, and pressure will then reduce once all of the condensation is dried out. We are now just dropping below 50. Starting to come down to 5 now. Okay, now we're at 3 millibars, so that's a successful clean. So all the lights are now gone off of the van. Then obviously once we come back here, right, we're going to go back, and just read the fault codes, make sure that they have all cleared and they're not come back. So that's all done. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. Got a little bit concerned when I saw the pressure was a little bit high when I first started up, but yeah, it's a really good result. Very happy with that, and the customer's obviously going to be happy. So that's it on the Citroën flatbed recovery truck, whatever you'd like to call it. See you in the next video.